hope you are doing well on this evening. I have not been doing much lately, and you might have noticed that I started doing coffee with clinicians, and then I haven't been on for a little bit. Partly we've been dealing with a lot of sickness in the family. Those of you that know me from following previous videos know I have 12 children, some with disabilities that we adopted, one of whom spent 5.5 months in the hospital about 10 years ago because of respiratory failure. He ended up developing pneumonia after all of us kind of went through this really bad flu and some pneumonia phase. And then he got it, and then we were in the hospital for 8 days. So anyway, it was a long, protracted uh, chain of events that just like wiped us out, and it took every ounce of energy we had as we were dealing with that. And anyway, so I will be back soon with another interview on coffee with clinicians. I've got a couple people lined up. One I had to cancel because of illness, but I've got a couple lined up soon that I'm looking forward to and sharing with you. I think you'll find them interesting. I'm trying to line up interesting folks that have kind of a niche, and they're doing things in therapy that you might not entirely be familiar with, or you might not expect, and you might gain something from. If you happen to be a viewer of this channel, and I know I've had a diminishing return just because I haven't done nearly as much, but if you are one of the faithful who watches my videos, first of all, thank you. Secondly, if you know of somebody or you happen to be somebody who doesn't mind getting in front of a camera, who has a story to tell that may be atypical, or you have an interesting story that maybe you would like to share with lots of therapists, let me know. Hit me up in the comments section. I would love to sit down on a Zoom meeting for about 20 to 30 minutes and interview you, hear your story. You've seen, if you've watched the interviews I've done in the past, including some older ones, you know kind of how I roll. It's not intimidating. I try to make people feel very welcome, and I try to not interject too much, and I'm making sure I'm listening to them. And I'm especially interested in stories like horror stories related to therapy, the therapy world, but it could be other types of clinical backgrounds. Nurses, respiratory therapist comes to mind just because my son had to deal with respiratory quite a bit lately. So whoever you might be, if you have like an interesting horror story, like for instance, I was made to do 110% productivity, and you're no longer with that company, you'd like to share the shenanigans of what went on, I'd love to hear that. So again, comment if you will, if you'd like to be considered for such an interview. And just know I will be back soon with coffee with clinicians. And I hope you're doing well. I enjoy, interacting with the people out there in the therapy world and other general medicine. Anyway, that's all I got. I hope you're doing well. Take care, and God bless.